Hi, everybody. It's Danielle Elise. I am the co founder of the All Black Creatives Studio podcast, and I am here. I'm really excited today to be interviewing an artist that I have been following for like quite a while. And so today I am going to interview Jaleel Campbell. We're going to talk about a new project that he is working on. Um, as always, the studio podcast is sponsored by Adobe Express and brought to you by the All Black Creatives Foundation. Thank you so much to my partners, the sponsors who help us to make this possible, and also to all of our new YouTube subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much. And with all of that said, I'm going to bring in my guest. And hello,
Hello, hello.
hello.
What's going on, Danielle?
Look, we're here, right?
Right. You here. Making it
We
happen.
are here. It has been quite the intro to the year so far.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right now, for me, I'm in a waiting period for a lot of
Hmm.
different things, and it's anxiety inducing. But all I can control at the moment is me and my space. So that's what I'm intending on doing. But I feel that it has been a little chaotic, but we rolling with it.
Literally. Like, I don't know. I feel like I knew that 2025 was going to be, a thing, and it's still going to be its own thing. It's going to be incredible. But the
Mhm.
rocky start to it all had me feeling like, you know what? It just made me feel like the need to double down on community, the need to double down on like these life-giving community and self-care practices.
Yep.
Like it made me feel like, okay, yes, and you know,
Yep.
like not in a not in like a, oh, like I'm so discouraged, I'm gonna give up kind of way, but very much so in like a, okay, cool, yeah, uh yeah, we're gonna need each other, we are
Hmm.
going to need each other,
No, I
and we, yeah, you know.
Yeah, prioritizing your piece is going to be essential. That listen, I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to plan a trip as we speak to just get away and recalibrate in March because I
Yeah.
refuse to experience burnout this year. I have a lot on my
Yeah.
plate, and I want to make sure that I show up fully to execute. So, but not even just about production and all of that type of stuff. Just being present and enjoying the people that
Yeah.
I'm around and making room for fun. That's important.
Making room for fun. I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Um, yeah, like, and sometimes it feels kind of not trivial, but like we don't want people to judge us because we need to chill or we need to like regenerate and recalibrate and do all that kind of stuff. And sometimes, like, I don't know, like, especially with Black History Month coming up, like, this is when creatives are like getting booked for stuff, or like you have to say yes to stuff and all of this. And like, you don't, like, we
You
don't, we
don't.
can if we choose to. We can if we choose to, but like also just the push and the rush to like never say no to an opportunity because what ifs, or just all of that is can be really exhausting too.
Yeah. Like the requests are starting to come in, and it's like
Late like
just like
always, but that's fine,
late,
that's fine.
late, and then trying to discount your price, and it it really makes you question your value, but
Mm-hmm.
standing firm in whatever you set, that's owning that, not letting these organizations or corporations talk you out of what you feel your worth is. So
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mm-hmm.
gotten a few different requests, but I'm not sure if they're going to happen yet because the money ain't right. And one thing about me and my practice,
Okay.
I need my money. So I'm not doing nothing for free and or for like a reduced rate because I put my years
Mm-hmm.
in at this point, and this is a
Mm-hmm.
business. As much as an artist that I am, I'm also very on it in terms of advocating for myself and what I believe I'm
Mm-hmm.
worth. So I definitely feel
Yeah.
that frustration, and yeah, they just got to do better.
Agreed. I agree. One of my favorite phrases is like, "Your urgency is not my emergency."
Come on, come on,
Because people want to be like, "Oh, like I got this thing and we really need you to do this right now." And it's just like, take a seat.
right? No, but facts.
Calm down. Anyway, um, I'm so happy that you're here. Happy that you're joining me for this podcast session. And if you will, I'd love it if you just introduce your work, your current project. It's called In Secrecy.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I sure will.
I want to hear all about it.
Yep. So I am Jaleel Campbell. I am based out of Syracuse, New York, and this is actually my 12th year as a thriving artist. I would say I got my starts. I mean, I've always been a creative, but I didn't know exactly where that was going to land until I got to high school and started to learn about Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop.
Mm,
I was late to the game, actually. I didn't find out about those programs until my junior year of high school. I did
mm.
like a course, a summer college course at Syracuse University, and they
And
introduced
that's
me
where
to
you
these.
found out about it?
Yes, I found out about Adobe
Wow.
Illustrator and Photoshop at this summer college course, and I became obsessed. I was
Mm,
hooked with Adobe Illustrator. I started because at the time I was painting with acrylics, and I began to
mm.
take pictures of my paintings on my phone, and then would send those pictures to my email, and then upload them to my Adobe subscription. Okay, the way I had 50 emails for years because who was about to pay that subscription fee for
I
a
feel
year?
that. I feel it. I
See,
feel it. Oh my
the new
god.
folks, they don't remember when you had to buy the actual like disc or the little like card
Okay, and
thing.
install it. Yep.
Yes, you had to install it. It was a whole
Come on
process,
now.
but
Come
it,
on
oh my
now.
God, I miss it. It used to be great, you know? Um, so once I had it on my computer, every day I was making something on Adobe Illustrator. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my tool of choice on there has always been the pen tool. That's a
Mm.
beast in itself, and a lot of people shy away from it, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, like the way my mind worked, I just like to break things down to their most like simplest type of shapes. And from there, over the years, I've built up my skills
Mm-hmm.
using it. That and then the gradient tool as well are very
Mm.
instrumental in my art practice. So as I got to college and took these other classes, it really refined my techniques in Adobe Illustrator, and then eventually I started to whatever illustrations I made in the program. I began to bring them into Photoshop to just adjust the colors to make them more vibrant. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I would actually arrange my pieces in Photoshop as well, um, because it would flatten whatever portion of the picture that I was working on. Uh,
Mm.
as if it was like a puzzle piece, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
so I would input it as if it's like a big collage I'm putting together. So it's been so much fun over these past 12 years figuring it out,
Mm-hmm.
developing these different works of art, and I've done well. This is my
You
fourth
actually
series.
did this is your fourth series?
Yeah, this is my fourth series. Yep.
Wow.
hmm
No, that's beautiful.
hmm
What series were you working on when you did? Because you did an Adobe Creative Residency, right?
Yes, I did. So
Yeah.
back during the pandemic, at the time I was working on my third series,
Mm-hmm.
which was my homecoming series, and at the time that was the first time that I approached my artistry in the way that I did for the In Secrecy project, where
Mm.
I was working from some literature. So my family, we have a family book that chronicles the life and experience of my eldest known relative. His name was Pompey Hines, and he was based out of
Mm.
Hinesville, Georgia. He was a freed slave that went on to
Wow.
acquire all of this land and built up a lot of property and business down in Georgia back in the early 1900s. Him and his 17 children. So it talks about their lives.
Wow.
It was the 17 kids for me. Okay. So
Wow.
yeah,
What a
like
legacy for real.
what
Wow.
a legacy. And his land currently sits on Fort Stewart, which is a army base down there. And I'm not sure. I believe the property was seized in the
Mm.
1940s. But just knowing that I come from that legacy is just like, wow, that's really dope.
Yeah,
So
wow.
yeah, I wanted to create some illustrations that accompanied those different stories that were being told about him and his
Mm.
children in the book. Before
How
that,
did you get your
oh yeah,
hands on this book? Like what family member
my
kept
father.
these stories?
Yeah, so my
Wow.
father, apparently he went to like a family reunion many years ago. Like I always grew up knowing about this book. I didn't
Mhm.
read it until I would say like 2019ish.
Mm.
Um, and once the creative residency came about, I was like, oh well, this will be a fun thing to explore. Like let me see what I could do. And yeah, it turned into these 6 illustrations that
Wow.
depict these different moments from my family's history. And um, those are some of my, like, it's in a simpler illustration style that I have, but it helped me get to my current illustration style, which is a mixture of both of my illustration styles.
Wow, 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 wow.
Mhm.
I want to see some of your work right
Oh
now.
yeah,
I want to pull it up. Yeah, let's pull it up.
no problem.
Now, I can share my screen or you can share your screen.
Yeah, you can share your screen.
All right, okay.
Yep.
I'll share my screen. Okay. And then, should I go to your website? Is this the best one?
Yep, you can go right to my
Yeah.
website over to shop.
Perfect. Okay, hold on. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Okay,
Yes.
you got to tell me where to click around now.
Yep. So, for examples of the homecoming series, you can scroll down,
Mm-hmm.
keep going,
Mm-hmm.
and this last image on the Sunday's
This one?
best, you can click on. Oh yeah, go to homecoming actually. Yep.
Okay. This is so cool.
Yes. So
Wow.
it's a flatter style. This was actually an illustration um, that I created in honor of Juneteenth. And
Mm.
there was a magazine at the time that reached out to me. Um, this was the first one that I made in a series, and a magazine reached out to me to potentially have it be a part of their magazine. I can't remember what publication it was, but they didn't end up going with it. And again, it put that spark in my head, like, oh, maybe this would be great to like blow up
Wow.
and develop into an actual series. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was trying to create a simpler version, although there are still elements of my artwork, of my like other style in this.
This is beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah, I was
So
thinking
when you
about.
started this, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say that when I originally made this, I was thinking about uh, acknowledging the lands in which my ancestors once stood on. So this is
Mm-hmm.
two potential family members going back to the lands of their grandparents, or maybe their father, who may have been a either like a sharecropper or a former slave, and just going to show respects, showing them dressed to the nines to pay their
Mm.
respects, showing the progress, seeing how far they've come since those times.
Wow. I love that because they look so royal and regal dressed
Mhm.
like this. And
Yes.
then, yeah, and then to have them there with the fields behind them, that is That's beautiful. I
Thank
love
you.
that piece.
Thank you. Another one is that illustration Youngin, of the young
Mm,
girl with
mm-hmm.
this doll in her hand. Um, this was one of my favorites from this period too, just because it's so busy. Like there is something going on everywhere in this piece. Um,
Uh-huh.
I was really trying to play with color and texture, and
Mm,
this is where I would say my use of line started to really develop was in this
mm.
series.
Yeah, I was gonna say because a lot of your work looks like patchwork. I've seen
Yeah.
people say it looks like a puzzle, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's wow.
Yep. This would be a really dope puzzle. I had a puzzle line uh, available in like
Mm-hmm.
Targets and stuff, which was like a
Mm-hmm.
dope opportunity. But it
Yeah.
was only three of my older illustrations.
Mm.
But I hope to one day get that opportunity again to turn some of these pieces into puzzles.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Hmm.
I definitely have people I would buy this for already, and then
Oh
this
yeah.
also as a puzzle would be so cool.
Yep.
Mm.
And
Okay,
I could.
anything else I should click in on? You tell me.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, if you go to Just a Touch,
Mm.
this is an illustration that was a part of my more mainstream series called Feel That Funk. That was my second
Okay.
series. Yeah, I debuted this back in 2017, and this was a series of I believe 14 illustrations. All at the time, I wasn't thinking about storytelling per se. I was just trying to make like fly images of Black people, but in that
Yes.
70s aesthetic, that was
Mm-hmm.
very popular at the time. So this piece in particular, Just a Touch, this was the second illustration that I made in that series. And again, it feels so sophisticated. It feels very chic and fly. And again, that you still feel that sense of regality when you look at these two people that's staring you down. Okay. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Wow.
the eyes in my illustration are something that has been resounding from people that check out my work. They're staring so intensely at you. You have no choice but to pay attention to them. So that's on purpose. Hello. Oh wait. Hold on. Hello. Let me pull up my.
Happened. Like everything just completely disappeared, but hold
Okay.
on.
Yep. No problem.
All right. So we're back. We're back.
Yep.
Do you want me to go to another piece now?
Um. No, would I actually be able to show my screen? Because I can show you some of my newer illustrations.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so let me just pull.
Yeah. Okay. You said you want to share your screen?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, I can pull it up. Hold on.
Perfect. I love that.
Present. Oh wait, hold on. I have to allow the.
Also, a little bird told me that you are having a birthday. Is this a real thing?
Oh yes. So this year I'm turning 30. All right. This is, and I grew up as a,
Oh,
right. It's a big deal for me. I grew up as
yeah.
a Jehovah's Witness and never got the
Okay.
opportunity to really celebrate my birthday. So I was like, year 30, I'm going all out. So it's a fundraiser for a local
Not
organization.
you casually dropping the lore.
The what?
Not you casually dropping the backstory, the lore. All just
Wait,
I
no,
wasn't ready.
yes, yeah. I grew up as a
Wow.
Jehovah's Witness, and that is integral in the things that I do and why I do them. Um, and but yeah, like it'll be a fundraiser for a local organization that I've been working with called ACR Health. They do a lot of advocacy work for the LGBTQ community here in Syracuse. So I'm looking forward to it.
That is so cool. Very
I
cool.
have I do like the most I do so much different things. It don't make any sense at all. Um
I love that. I love that. Mm. Okay, is it giving you trouble sharing your screen?
I'm trying to get like upload the file. I think it's here. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes,
Okay,
uploading
cool.
now.
Okay,
It's a
perfect.
catalog.
We'll let it do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Um
wow. Okay, so are you still I don't are you still in the faith of Jehovah's Witness and now you're just like, okay, but I'm celebrating my birthday or
no, no, I'm not. My mother and
okay.
stepfather, they still practice. But um I I I'm I'm about to be celebrated, okay? So it's definitely that was my upbringing, but that is not where I stand now. Yeah. But I'm
No,
looking forward
I totally get it. I understand.
hmm it's a little tough.
Yeah.
And let me see.
Mm. Mm. Is there like tension with you celebrating your birthday or are people more like we get it or
Yeah, no, there's not any tension at all. Like even with my mother, she's very like when we were 13, she gave us the option to either continue going or to find our own path. And so me
mhm.
and my siblings decided not to attend anymore. So
Mhm.
she wasn't like a very, you have to type of person growing up,
Yeah.
which I think um that's wonderful because some people they grow up in those devout households and they end up spiraling once they do get a little
Yeah.
taste of freedom. So
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
that's so real. That's
Oh,
so
thank
real.
you for the early birthday love. It's February 10th, Aquarius season.
Dang. Love that.
Yep.
Um,
So can you see this now?
yeah, we are good. You're on screen, and I think you should be able to kind of click through.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So for my new body of artwork, it's titled In Secrecy. And this concept actually came to me, I would say, when I was in grad school. However, I didn't start to pursue it until I came home in the middle of the pandemic. So, so as I was thinking about what I wanted to do with my artistry, I was I knew for a fact that I wanted to get a little personal, and for a long time I didn't feel like that comfort of being vulnerable. That's not something that comes easy to me. Everything normally up until that point was very scripted and very like
Mm.
on purpose. So
Mhm.
opening up about my own experiences navigating gay life and just even interviewing others about what that experience has looked like for them, it felt very foreign to me. But
Mhm.
honestly, it has been such a release and a relief for me.
Mm.
And this has been the culmination of 2 years of work. I did a residency with a local nonprofit called the Near West Side Initiative, and I was doing a lot of programming on their site while also developing this series. And going back to this idea of research and approaching my my artistry in the series from a research perspective. That wasn't something that I had did prior.
Mm.
For my first two series, uh, which was the first one was Ghetto Art Deco, reimagining the
Mm.
Harlem Renaissance, and then
Ooh.
followed by the Feel That Funk series.
Mm.
I was just jumping in and just making pictures, not necessarily having
Yeah.
stories into it. So yeah, this one had a lot more meat, and I
Mm.
wanted to discuss the lives of gay black men, whether they identify as out, DL, or discreet, and all
Mm.
that comes with that. So this current illustration on the screen, this is titled "Like It Never Happened," and
Mm.
this was one of the standout pieces from the show. A lot of we just wrapped yesterday. I just went to go pick up all of the pieces yesterday, and it was up for 2 months at
No
Art
way.
Rage.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, yep. It was a
Mm.
solo show, and we had a great turnout and did a lot of programming around it, thinking of these different themes and ideas of secrecy. Um,
Mm.
for me, at 30, I am not interested in living in secret. And for so long, so
Yeah.
many different gay people have had to live in secret from their families, live in secret in the workplace, live in secret just in life, and it can have so many damning effects on your
Mm.
psyche. Um, it was important for me to again just to start this conversation up and to hear from others like what were the takeaways and how do you operate in secrecy in this world, that was
Mm.
really the bigger theme that I was trying to pull out.
Yeah. I think that that's a especially when you grow up with devout parents or in a because I grew up with very devout parents and I was raised very like in a very specific way,
Hmm.
and we were all also homeschooled, so there was a very strong culture in my world also.
Hmm.
And just from hearing you talk about this project and then also growing up where you had a moment where you were like, okay, I'm gonna make, even if it seemed like a small choice then, like, okay, I'm not gonna keep going to, the services or the meetings or whatever, and just slowly reclaiming yourself.
Hmm.
um, I feel like you can make such beautiful art from that place because that is a moment of vulnerability. Like that,
Hmm.
hey, like let me find what's true for me.
Come
Um,
on.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
Like, yeah.
that is exactly it. It is that is what um, I feel like has been my superpower in these last 2 years.
Mm,
Is this project? So the In Secrecy series, along with my current job of running this initiative called Project Out Loud, it has
mm,
allowed me to not only operate in my blackness but also my
mm,
queerness, and that has
mm,
never been a space that I've done so like publicly,
mm-hmm.
and so it really does feel like a superpower, and that visibility, although it's scary at times,
Yeah.
is definitely necessary because it's setting the next generation up for to be even greater and louder. So I'm definitely moving within my purpose, I feel, and this project really sparked that off for me.
Mm.
Mhm.
That's so beautiful.
Thank
Like,
you.
I don't know, that's so beautiful. I feel like there's such a, you said it earlier, you used the word relief. Like there is such a relief in sharing who you are to people who you love and who you know love you also.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's also scary. Okay, tell us more about the project. Let's go. Let's get
Yep.
into it.
Yep, no problem. So, with this series, it was 14 illustrations, and I'm just gonna go through I'm gonna go through all of them except for one. Or wait, matter of fact, I'll be able to pull up the last one. Um,
Okay.
And this one in particular, I knew like in this series I wanted to do a self portrait of sorts. And so for this one, growing up, I loved. If you ask anybody about Little Jaleel, Little Jaleel was the most um, that was when I was my most comfortable. I was my least tampered with, like from the world. So he was so bold. So he was just a bright light. He was so he was a good time. He was a trip, okay, and he loved playing with dolls. He loved playing with
Um,
Bratz dolls.
mm,
Barbie was cool, but they was a little too polished for me. So I
mm-hmm.
loved Bratz dolls because they felt so black.
Brass?
Bratz, Bratz.
Brats.
Yeah,
Okay,
yep,
brats. Yeah.
yep, Bratz dolls. And
I love
so I
that.
wanted to do this self portrait. This was me depicted with my younger self, and this was
Mm,
in my older studio that I used to have when I was doing my residency. I wanted to bring both versions of myself together um, amongst our dolls. So from me playing with those dolls as a child, I then grew up and began to make my own line of dolls. And the whole thought process behind me making these dolls, they're called Jalitos. Um, they're like
yes.
these hand sewn dolls that I create. I use Adobe Illustrator to design the body parts for this doll, and then I send them
Mhm.
to the Cricut machine, which is a like a cutting machine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it cuts out all of the pieces for me, and then I assemble, like sew and assemble everything. Um,
Wow.
it's a very involved
Do
process.
you
I have
have
like
one on you? Can we see them?
I do actually. Hold on one moment.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah, let
Okay.
me get one of the dolls. Hold on, I'll be
Because
right.
you know that's how I found you. I found you from through your
Say it
dolls.
one more time. Through the dolls, right?
Oh, I was saying that's how I found you. Yeah, was through the dolls. Yeah.
Yeah. At that time, I was making them real heavy. I haven't made them in about 2 years because of I've been working on this series. But yeah, wait, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get them for you.
Take your time.
All
Take your
right.
time. Yes, we love young Jaleel. uh, yeah, that's actually like fun fact, but that's how I came across Jaleel's work was actually because of these dolls, and this was ooh, I don't even remember. Probably maybe 2020, maybe 2021.
Yeah, I think it was like 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So wait,
Yeah.
let's see.
Oh,
This is one of the Cholito dolls. They are 18
so
inches,
cool.
and I think I have some pictures that I can post too. I don't know. They
Wow.
have tattoos on the back of their heads that say Jalitos, and it has my signature on it as well.
Wow.
Um, Again, I designed the body like tattoos on Adobe Illustrator, and
Mm-hmm.
then send it to this machine to print. So it's giving very much
Wow.
STEM, okay?
It's
Like
giving
it's giving STEM, okay? I don't know what I was thinking about or how I
uh,
came up with it, but yeah, it was this
but
has been such a
like
fun project making these dolls.
that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Like uh I have these little dolls that my grandmother sewed for me that she gave to my mom and my mom gave to me before my grandmother passed. It's just
Uh,
like that's such a cool thing. That's such a way to pass on like a story and pass on like a history and pass on something that's more than just like I don't know, it's a way to hold on to a memory too. It's a beautiful way to do that.
yep, I definitely see them as these like heirloom type of pieces.
Yeah.
Originally, when I made them, I was just imagining them being like something that people keep on their shelves, like but kids actually like them. And that was actually shocking to me because I did not
Yeah.
consider them being like toys for kids because they're handmade and
Uh-huh.
stuff, but
Uh-huh.
kids do enjoy them. So in this
Yeah.
illustration, I have one of the Jalito dolls like behind older me, while younger me has the some of the, like examples of some of the dolls I used to play with as a child. So it was just full circle, and I'm getting back to
Beautiful.
that, to the spirit that I had as a young child. I was fearless.
That's beautiful.
Hmm.
People are just like loving. Somebody
Yes.
said, I need a doll.
Listen, I'm working on a batch of 25 dolls right now.
Yes.
Okay, so they're coming back in
Please.
2025.
One of
I
those is
promise.
mine. Okay.
Yep,
One of those is mine.
yep. Listen, I got you. I got you.
Yes. Yes.
And the next illustration that we have, this is titled Forgotten Innocence.
Mm.
Going back to this idea of Black boyhood and growing up and just always feeling like I was othered. I was othered a lot.
Mm.
My voice was too high. I walked with a switch. I just constantly being checked for every little thing
Mm.
that I did. And eventually that manifested into me having a lot of anxiety and stuff by the time I got to middle school. Didn't have the language to understand what I was feeling and why,
Mm-hmm.
like, I was just so anxious, when I
Mm.
went into certain spaces, hanging out with my male cousins and family members, going to the barbershop, and like it just used to be a lot. So, Forgotten Innocence is a depiction of these three Black boys just simply being. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
showcase, like, allowing young Black boys to be children, because too
Yes.
often we have to grow up. Just Black kids in general, we have to grow up so fast, um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not fair. It is not fair. We should be able to enjoy our youth without the
Yes.
without the the burdens of adulthood being like brought onto us too fast. So they're
Yes.
standing outside of their maybe out. So like where I live, or where I lived at the time, there was a project building that was right across the street from where I lived, and I wanted to include that building or those buildings, and then I put a playground behind them as well to again represent their youth. But then also this fence is right here,
Mm-hmm.
like separating them from that playground. So again, it's just thinking about how can we allow these children to be children without trying to have them grow up too fast.
Ooh, this piece makes me want to cry. Like I have an 8-year-old son, and I like that is my goal as a parent is to give him that childhood and to
Mm,
like protect his peace and
yep.
just just all of it. This piece is so beautiful, Jaleel. I love this.
Thank you. Yeah, this is one of my favorites from the series. And going back to what I was telling you earlier about the
Mm-hmm.
eyes in my
Yeah.
illustration, seeing them stare at you so intensely,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it brings that message home of I just want to be a child, like let me be. So it's definitely one of my faves.
Mm, that's beautiful.
Thank you. And next we have this illustration is titled "Sitting Pretty." And
Mm-hmm.
earlier last year, with my job, Project Out Loud, we helped put together this ball that took place in Syracuse, New York. And while I'm at this
What?
ball, yes, like it was so dope. It was a great experience. While I was there, I was just looking at the outfits of all of these dudes, but they identified as like, well, they were men but feminine presenting men, um,
Mm-hmm.
and butch queens. So I just loved how
Yes.
they were able to put together their fits, and I was just really, I wanted to showcase the beauty of the feminine gay Black man. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we are often told that there that we're supposed to be masculine, we're supposed to be tough and all of that dumb stuff. So
Mm.
I wanted to give them their flowers and to showcase them just as they are, so fly. And yeah, this is just a really nice tribute to the feminine gay Black man.
Sitting pretty. I love the title.
Sitting pretty.
I love it.
Thank you. And for this illustration, in comparison to my older pieces, this series only has about um, three, because the focus was on males or male identifying people in throughout
Mm-hmm.
the series. So I didn't include a lot of women um,
Mm-hmm.
this time around. But a lot of my older work, that was the norm for me. Like I would always include women in my pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this one, I wanted to make sure that when I'm discussing this idea of download culture and thinking about um, all sides of the perspective. This piece titled "Sweet Nothings" is a depiction of a man and woman. I am thinking, like my conclusion from once I finished this piece was this could be telling the tale of a woman who is constantly being she wants more from her partner, but her
Mm-hmm.
partner is fine with what they have going on. He doesn't want to put a title on her. He wants full access to her whenever he wants. But she is feeling like she's over playing her role essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so she has this look of like, "Ugh, I'm so over this" on her
She's
face.
exhausted.
She's exhausted. And she
Mm-hmm.
knows that he's just giving her sweet nothings, to keep her in his lineup. And he's just sitting back, chilling, like, okay, yeah, this is cool. I'm sure so many people have experienced those types of relationships, and
Mm-hmm.
um, it's unfair, but it's something that definitely happens a lot,
Yeah.
especially when you put that context of what that could look like in the DL realm. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I thought that this would be a really dope piece to include. And then what I love about this woman in particular is how I finessed her hair. I love the line work that I included in her hair, along with
Mm-hmm.
I added. Okay, one thing about me, I'm terrible with making hands.
With
Making hands.
hands.
Yeah, I always run into like problems illustrating hands, but I did a relatively good job with this one.
Yeah,
But
this is nice.
yeah, I was trying to make some nails for her. She has some
Mm,
long nails in this piece, so um, yeah, Sweet Nothings is this one.
I love that. Mm. His big ass gold chain.
I know, right? I know.
Ugh.
Make me
Ugh.
sick.
Ugh. Making me sick. Making me
It's
sick.
because you can literally think of the type of dude that
Ugh.
would have that type of stuff on the
100%.
t-shirt, the
Ugh.
chain. Yeah, it makes you roll your eyes too. Yep. um, this next piece is titled "If Your Girl Only Knew,"
Mm-hmm.
and for me, this piece represents deception of some sort. The man is he's hiding something. He's hiding something. So if your girl only knew, maybe um this is his girl and she's made like the way she's looking at him and the way I cropped it, it makes me feel like she's on to whatever it is that he may be hiding, but
Mm-hmm.
hasn't she doesn't have concrete evidence yet.
Mm-hmm.
So she's
Oof.
just trying to play it real cool, but
Mm-hmm.
she's on you. She's gonna
Look
find
at
out.
her
Yes.
eyes, though.
Okay.
Look at those eyes.
She said, "You
Mm-hmm.
think I'm dumb, but no, I something is going on, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of this."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I was thinking about the role that these women that deal with these men are in. Sometimes they don't know what's going on, and they are
Mm-hmm.
caught completely off guard. There are times when the women may be aware, and because of whatever circumstances there are, they stay
Mm-hmm.
and deal with it. But I just wanted to present, you know, I wanted to acknowledge um, the experiences of these women that deal with
Mm-hmm.
men in this way.
Mm. Yeah.
This next piece was the first illustration that I created in this series, and it's titled "Living All Alone," and this is a crop of the it's a crop of the piece, but it's a tribute to my cousin. His name was Terry Robinson. He passed away in like 2017 or 2018. But growing up, Terry was he was my first representation of what being a gay black man looked like. And although it was like a open secret in my family, um, I always felt this type of connection to him. I just didn't understand what that was until I grew up, or until I grew up. So he was a ebony fashion fair model in the DC area back in the 70s and 80s.
Wow.
Um, yeah, like he was so like fly. He was very model-esque and very tall and appeared to be confident while in he was confident in public, but in private,
Mm-hmm.
he battled a lot of mental health issues, and it all revolved around him not being to acknowledge his queerness openly within
Mm-hmm.
our family. Again, thinking about growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, his mother, which was my grandmother's sister,
Mm-hmm.
um, she was a devout Jehovah's Witness, and he just they our family was not that accepting. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of whispers surrounding his sexuality throughout his lifetime, and something because I did in order to find out more information about him. I interviewed some of my family members, and then I went and looked up his obituary, and found
Wow.
people that made remarks, like acknowledgments to him. I found them on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and asked to interview them, and I found out that two of them were his
Wow.
former lovers, and then one of them was a friend of his. And
Wow.
it was so crazy. Like again, turning into a like a researcher for this picture,
Yeah.
finding out all of this, like finding out these different vignettes about his life were
Mm-hmm.
was very beautiful. And I wanted to just give him his flowers because while he was alive, he did not receive them at all.
Yeah.
Once he died, my family didn't he didn't have a funeral. His obituary was very short. Um, they said that he didn't want a funeral, so
Mm.
there's that. But he doesn't get brought up enough, and so I it was feeling like he was gonna become like lost in history. So I wanted to make this illustration
Yeah.
to memorialize him.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Thank you. And this is just it's another crop of the other side of the illustration.
Mm. Wow.
Yep. And then the next piece that I have, uh, this is titled um, this is titled "Forbidden Fruit: Adam and Steve in the Garden of Eden." And
Wow.
growing, yeah, yeah, this has been a standout piece from the series.
Mm-hmm.
I originally I knew I wanted to do like some depiction of just gay love, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember growing up always hearing that from my other grandmother. Anytime I went to her house, it was she grew up, or I'm sorry, she was like the choir director for her church. She was a very religious woman, and
Mm-hmm.
there was so many different instances where I don't know what was going on in like the conversation or whatever, but I remember her saying, God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, and how
Uh-huh.
being
We've
gay was
heard that. I've heard that. Yeah.
yeah, that's such a common like phrase. So
Mm-hmm.
when I came up with this picture, I'm like, you know what? Let's show them Adam and Steve real quick.
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, this is one of my favorites from the series as well.
Mm-hmm.
And again, thinking about my use of line, this was my way of showing out in terms of what I'm capable of doing in Adobe
Yeah.
Illustrator, adding
Mm-hmm.
all of the line work and even just like the use of these gradients throughout this piece. I made this in 3 days. I normally my pictures take me like a month to create, but at that time, I was really like focused on getting my illustrations done, but also I was just tapped in, like I was really in the zone. So when I'm in that mode, I'm able to produce pictures faster, and
But
yeah, just to
Jaleel,
help
Jaleel,
people.
Jaleel, you said I made this in 3 days, but you made this in 3 days and however many years you've been working on this, okay?
Right, that's a fact.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because that's incredible that you can be in a place where you are number one vulnerable enough to let yourself create from the vision that you have without uh, shielding your work, and then to have the skill in Illustrator and whatever else to be like, I have this vision, I see it, I'm gonna put it together. Like, that comes from so much time. You've
Yeah.
put in so much beautiful work. Like, you've put in internal work to be able to speak your truth, to be able to make it something that's also so beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this one
Thank you
doesn't
so
make
much.
sounds, but I'm snapping for you.
No,
Like,
thank you. I am very, very proud of this body of work. And
mm,
you really, you just said like about putting up those shields. This one in particular, I was
mm,
terrified to post. Um,
mm,
I was already scared to post the illustrations from this series at all, because seeing like gayness depicted publicly, oh my God, I'm like, I don't want to get any hate mail. I don't want to like ruffle any feathers, like
yeah.
that. But it was necessary. And so I did get some
Mm-hmm.
hate mail, like once I posted this one, but there was so many people that loved it and felt
Yeah.
affirmed because they grew up hearing that same phrase and they remember what it felt like to be told that. Or even if they were if the person that said it wasn't like if they weren't like talking directly to them, it still hit them because they knew that they had this secret that they were holding.
Yeah.
So that is, to me, this is an affirming piece to know that it's okay to be you. Art
Hmm.
is resistance. Absolutely, it is resistance.
Yes.
So I stayed steadfast, and
Mm.
I posted anyway.
And you know what? The fact that you did, you created space for other people to share their own truth. You create a space for other people to love out loud the people in their lives who are, wanting to speak their truth and also be loved and be heard, because this is something that like for so long has caused like rifts in families and rifts in groups, and it's just like it's tough. It's hard. When I came out to my mom as queer, I almost threw up in my mouth. I
Hmm.
was like,
Yep.
this is so much. And then you're just like, I still want to be loved. I want to be understood. I want to be able to have conversations. And I want to ask you too, like, with this project, are you hoping that it gives people, like, what are you hoping for? Are you hoping that people feel seen? Are you hoping to support conversations around the whole being in secrecy, or I kind of want to know from you, or is it just like, I needed to put this out and it's out and do with it what you will?
Yeah. I
Okay.
I want people to investigate the ways in which they operate in secret in this world.
Ooh.
I want people to, I
Mm.
want those that resonate with these images to feel affirmed. So to go back to the opening night for the debut of my show, when
Mm-hmm.
I tell you I was an emotional wreck, I'm in this gallery crying because so many different gay people came out to the show, black, white, whatever, men, women, coming up to me saying how this is exactly what their experience was, or I've been in
Mm.
that situation before. They started telling me about who their cousin Terry's was in their lives. You know,
Mm,
these fallen soldiers that didn't get acknowledged because they were gay, or because
mm-hmm,
they may have
mm,
passed away from HIV or AIDS,
mm-hmm,
and you wasn't supposed to acknowledge any of those things
mm-hmm,
um, at that time. So it was just so rewarding. This, to me, this is the best work that I've done so far, and the most meaningful work,
wow.
because it is giving voice to a demographic that so often gets casted away, you know.
Mm-hmm,
And it has empowered me in a way that I didn't even think that was possible. You know, I really feel like this is the type of intervention work that I am supposed to be doing.
mm,
And yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, yes, the show is done. The first iteration
mm-hmm.
of the show is done, but I'm still gonna be applying for like fellowships and grants and stuff
Yes,
to continue
please.
doing this work, because there are other so many other different piece like pictures that I want to bring out of this series. So yeah, the first iteration of the In Secrecy series is done. Phase one
Mm.
complete, and we did that. We really,
Yes,
oh my god,
congratulations.
thank you. I had a whole rollout plan. The marketing
Woo.
was on point. Like it, oh, it was epic, and we made some noise. So
Aw.
I can't wait to start phase two.
I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Like, I think seeing your work over the past few years and just seeing uh, your journey has been so cool. So I want to thank you for sharing that, and thank you for sharing your vulnerability, a little bit of your lore of your life, of of just your passion, and then like yeah, it's beautiful to see this last piece, and then also see the work that you were showing us earlier on your website, and just like how you brought storytelling together with your artwork, and then also just this like beautiful research, because I feel like that is another form of, and this is a word that we're hearing all the time now, but like it's another form of archiving.
Yep.
Like it's another form of taking this history and this story and saving it and putting it in a space for other people to come, the next generation, to see and to understand, and to be like, okay, these are people who came before me, like this is where this is coming from, these are real stories.
Hmm.
And I think
That's so
whenever you're
important.
able to do that, whenever you're able to do that as an artist, like things shift, things start to shift.
Yep. Yeah, they're shifting. They are
Mm-hmm.
shifting. I don't know what 2025 has in store, but I know this is going to be a very, very big year. Okay. So I cannot thank you enough for allowing me the space to come and, you know, just be interviewed by you. And thank you for all that you do in terms of amplifying all of these Black creators. We really, really appreciate it. And you've built up such a beautiful audience, and it has been like so dope just observing you over these years too.
Aw, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. I
Listen,
think
we gotta
that.
give love to the ones that work hard. This It is so hard
Aw.
trying to do all of this work, but you doing it.
Aw, thank you so much, Jaleel. I appreciate that so much. Like, I've learned so much from listening to artists tell their stories over the years. And I've learned how to ask y'all questions and actually listen to what you're sharing, um, and understand it from your perspective. So
Mm,
it's a beautiful, beautiful win all around.
yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sharing your time. Although I am going to let you go about your day, for those of you who are still sticking around, I'm going to show you how I made the beautiful little cover picture for this chat in Adobe Express. But thank you
Yeah.
so much, Jaleel, for joining me. Thank you so much for sharing your time.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Happy birthday. Happy early
Thank you.
birthday.
Thank you. Later.
Bye. Y'all, thank you so much again for joining me. It's always such a joy for me to be able to have artists on. It's always such a joy to be able to hear people's stories, to see their work, to see them evolve. Um, yeah, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I'm going to show you this really quickly. This is the graphic that I created for this show, and I'm just going to show you how I did this in Adobe Express because y'all, Jaleel, as you heard, has put in 12 more than 12 years of work in his designs, and when I needed to create a beautiful visual for this, I decided to do so in Adobe Express because I am not a 12-year veteran of Adobe Illustrator, although I do love to play in Illustrator, and I'd love to show you guys that sometime as well. But I'm going to show you how I took this and made the cover for today's show. So, as you can see, this is not the shape for a YouTube banner, but that is one of the first and easiest things to fix. So I just went right up here to resize the page. I'm going to deselect expanding it through generation because I want to not at all touch Jaleel's artwork, and I just want to make it a good size for a thumbnail. So I'm going to go, I just kind of hit resize here, and then double click to drag down what I feel like is the most like visually stunning piece. Okie dokie. And then for all of the ABC Studios posts, I always add some things from our brand. So that's also here on the left side. You just click brands. I have a bunch of them because I have also designed brands for other folks. And so here we have ABC Studios. I'm not going to hit apply brand because, again, I don't want to change the colors that I already have. So I'm just going to add my logo instead. This logo, I also designed this entire logo in Adobe Express. So if you guys are designing logos and you need a program to do that pretty quickly and kind of keep all your brand assets, Adobe Express makes that really simple. So there we go. I've got my logo here. Sometimes I change the color of this. I just go down here to effects and I can kind of put another tint on it or switch it around. But I like the colors, the original colors for this one. So I kept that there. As you can see now, we are one step closer to creating our banner. Not our banner, but our YouTube thumbnail. The next thing that I want to do is just add some simple text. And I, again, wanted to keep this simple, and I usually do when I'm using someone's artwork because I want their artwork to stand out. So I just started with making it white, something really simple, or sometimes I use a little bit off-white. And I'll double click here, maybe zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm working with. Wow, not me zooming in on the entire window. My bad. But let's see. Can double click here. I'm going to put in Secrecy. And well, let's see if I can actually zoom out of this page again. Sorry that I made it so huge. But okay, so we have in Secrecy here. And let's say what I want to do is just copy this. Like, I don't want to have to start from the beginning. So what I'll do instead, oh man, it's really not letting me do this, huh? Here we go. I'm going to have to just open a tab again because this one is humongous. Okay, that's fine. We will share from this tab. Okay. I forget how close I sit whenever I'm working on something, and then I wonder why my back hurts, but like, I'm literally like this close. All right, so we're back. I've got in Secrecy. I'm going to make this the right size, and then to make my life easier, I'm just gonna duplicate this because I know that it's already a nice size. I like the color that I'm working with for now. And I'm going to put with Jaleel Campbell. Okay. And depending on where these words are, I'm seeing this font color works, and in other parts of the design, it doesn't really work. And my goal is to make this readable because I need people to be able to see the information that I'm putting on here. Okay, hold on. I need to adjust this just a little bit so that it's filling. Okay. All right. So something that you can do if you've got a design that has a lot of details like this and you don't want to make it difficult for people to read is that you can add a shape that or add a shadow that's directly attached to your font, or you can go to elements here on the left side like this, and I'm just gonna search for like a rectangle. Okay, I'm gonna go back to design assets, elements. Wow. Okay. And we're gonna look for a rectangle. These are actually really busy, so let's see. Shapes. We'll go to shapes. Yep, this is all I want. I just want something really simple. So let's work with this one. I'll make it the right size. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. But now I can't see the words, and this is showing us the order that everything is in, and so we need to send this shape to the back. So I just right-clicked, and then you're going to hit send backward. And we need to go backwards one more time so that all of our words can be in the front. Okay, great. Now, this shape is currently filled with a gray color, which is not working for me. So we are going to go here to fill, and let's see what it looks like with an white in the background, but let's change the opacity here so that it's see-through. And there. So it's making our words stand out a little bit from the background, and that helps with readability. This still isn't the best, and I can keep working on this and make it more and more readable, and maybe play with the shape of the border. But again, I really want to go very simple for this. And even with the border thickness, we could go crazy thick with the border, or we can make the border really, really thin. Also, I don't necessarily need this to be super rounded, so I'm going to make it a little bit more rectangle. And now, right now, all of these are in 3 different pieces. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to group them together. Okay, so I'm using my keyboard, and we've grouped, let's see. I want to group all of these together, and that's going to help me. So if I want to move, hold on, sorry. If I want to move just this group, and it's a little bit easier. All right. Again, with me sitting so close to the screen. Okay, so as you can see, this got brought forward. So I'm going to put this image to the back again, or I can just bring this one to the front. And let's see. Let's drag it up. There we go. And I'm going to show you guys. This is the finished one here. This is the one that I actually went with. And because I wanted to animate it to kind of make the cover for this play while you guys were waiting, I animated just the words so that Jaleel Campbell could fade in and out. And it's a really simple animation, but it's nice when you have a screen up and it just kind of gives people something nice to look at. So this is the final design here. It's really easy to animate text. I'll show you that. You just basically click your text, and then when your text options show up here on the left, you scroll down to animation. And I know this looks like a lot of options if you are not a designer, but do not worry. This is what Adobe Express is for. It makes it easy, it is simple, and you can't really mess up. Um, I just chose a fade, but if you want it to be fancy, you could have it drop down, you could have it drift in. Again, I wanted this to be really simple, so I just did a fade in. And you hit preview, it will show you here on the right side. This was all that I needed. Um, so I finished this design. I just hit download. I downloaded it as an MP4 because I want the video file to play. But if I wanted it to be a still, I would just download it as a PNG. And it reminds you, okay, your animation's not going to play if you download it as a PNG, but that's what we wanted. And that is how I made this design. It's also easy if you need to resize it for something else. I kind of showed you guys that earlier. You just go up here to resize and deselect expand, and you can resize it for whatever your needs are. But that's how I made the YouTube thumbnail for Jaleel's work. Um, Trying my best to beautifully respect his piece while letting his design shine and giving you the information that you need to join me today. Thank you guys so much. This has been really lovely. Um, it was awesome having Jaleel here. For those of you who were joining us in the chat, it was lovely to see your faces. Um, Lovely to see your little notes as well. Thank you so much again. And a big thank you to Adobe Express for sponsoring our podcast and for helping artists to share their stories and make their work a little bit easier. Thank you all. Love you guys so much. If you want to be a guest for the ABC Studios podcast, you can email me at Danielle@AllBlackCreatives, or you can DM me at The Wildflower on Instagram or at AllBlackCreatives, and someone will respond to you there as well. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a really good rest of your Wednesday. And for those of you who are joining me from Mexico, I will be at Art Week Mexico City in about 2 weeks, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for artist stories coming out of Mexico City. Yeah, thank you guys. Chat with you soon.